Now, as we all know, the Philadelphia 76ers just recently hired Daryl Morey, and I am going to make this part of my series. Who's really making the decisions in Philly? And this will be volume 3, as once again, Daryl Morey's hired, but Philadelphia, after the bubble, they recently revamped their whole front office. They got rid of a lot of guys. A lot of guys got demoted. Elton Brand actually got an extension as a GM, but as we all know now, Daryl Morey now is one of the guys that's kind of making the decisions, as he's signed a 5-year deal to become president. But before then, this is the situation where it gets kind of tricky. Of course, Doc Rivers signed a 5-year deal with the 76ers to become the head coach, and this is before the hiring of the president, this is very unusual still. So it seems like ownership is still kind of making decisions and just plugging guys in. So Daryl Morey does have the power of being president of basketball operations, but of course, a lot of the front office guys that he's going to be working with was not his decision. But who knows, maybe there was a backdoor agreement ahead of time after the bubble with the Rockets' early exit and Philly's early exit, because once again, Doc Rivers getting a 5-year deal and Daryl Morey signing for 5 years in. Maybe these guys knew ahead of time that they was going to be working together. Now, another interesting thing to look out in this whole situation is how Daryl Morey left the Rockets now that he signed his 5-year deal with Philly, because upon his exit, he did say he wanted to spend time with his kids, his family, and now all of a sudden, not even a few months go by, he quickly, signs in for another job, locked in for 5 years. But ever since Tilman Fertitta took over as the new owner for the Houston Rockets, he's been very cheap with the moves he's been making. As we all know, Daryl Morey, he's a gunslinger. This guy's gonna make some deals. He's gonna call some guys. He's gonna work out contracts. He doesn't really need someone over his head kind of holding him back as far as how much money he can spend. So it seems like these guys were butting head ever since Tilman took over. And we all know since the pandemic, Tilman Fertitta has been taking a lot of hits in his hotels and casinos, and he's been very cash strapped. And it's rumored that he actually even borrowed money from the previous owner in order to buy the team. So who knows, maybe him and Daryl Morey worked out a possible buyout where Daryl Morey took less money because he already knew that he had the Philly deal lined up. And this presents another interesting thing that I want to bring up later, is that how maybe guys are working out deals within the bubble this past season is because a lot of guys were around each other that normally wouldn't be around. So who knows, maybe a lot of talking, a lot of chit chatter, and guys are probably working out deals for the next season. So now with Daryl Morey being in Philly, we're going to see how he caters to working around the talent of Ben Simmons and Embiid. Because one of his downfalls in Houston, which is most NBA presidents and GMs' downfall because of politics, is sticking to the wrong star. James Harden actually gave Daryl Morey his name, but at the same time, it did have a glass ceiling on it, because James Harden is a guy you could build around, but when you want to get to the promised land, there's going to be a cap on that. So now him going to the East Coast in Philly, we're going to see if he can use those same skill sets in which he got players that catered around James Harden's game, where he can get a new set of guys to cater around Ben Simmons' game and Embiid, and see how he put the 76ers team together. I don't think it's going to look the same like how it did in Houston. Of course, these guys are going to need 3-point shooters, but the way Houston played, I believe Philly's going to play a completely different style, and Daryl Morey is going to figure that out. The only thing I wonder is if he's really going to be the guy fully to make all the decisions. Because as we all know, when you have too many guys that have their hand in the pot making decisions, things kind of get blurry. And Jimmy Butler touched base on this with JJ Redick, as they both experienced this in Philly. I want you guys to check it out.
I didn't know who the fuck was in charge. I think that was my biggest thing. I didn't know what the fuck to expect whenever I would go into the gym, whenever I go into the plane, whenever I go into the game. I was like, man, I would think I was as lost as the next motherfucker.
Meaning there was just a lot of voices.
Yeah.
And a lot of input from a lot of different places.
And just so much going on any given day. I was like, yep, I guess I'm just here to work. I didn't even know who to talk to.
The 76ers do have a long history of this. They did this to Sam Hinkie. They transitioned him while he was still in the position, out of the position. And now they're kind of doing the same thing to Elton Brand, where they made a lot of commitments to guys even after this offseason. So with ownership shuffling the deck within the front office, after doing all that, they then put Daryl Morey as team president. This is very strange. But overall, Morey's a good hire for them. He's going to give them a little bit more vision as far as how to build this team. And he's a deal maker. He's going to, hit the phone, cut a lot of deals. I got to say, man, Daryl Morey, I don't agree with his analytics in Houston, because it does have a cap in which it produces great regular season basketball. But when you want to get to that promised land, just with James Harden, it wasn't going to work. But as far as him cutting deals, getting CP3, getting other guys on the team to surround Harden, and even making changes to get Westbrook when it ended up not working out with CP3, as far as making trades and deals, this guy's a gunslinger. And right now, Philly definitely needs something like that.